let's talk a little bit about the breakout room settings. Okay, we need to check these because today we had a few issues with that. Can you click breakout rooms now, please? Okay, so let's imagine if you're teaching first on the day, then you see this, the beginning bit of the breakout rooms where you say how many rooms you want, and you say that you want to set them up manually because you have a few people who you don't need to assign, right? Your observers, basically, your peers. So if you're teaching second, third, and so on, then you see something that you see right now. This is the old breakout rooms, right? So someone used these rooms. That's what you see now. You can always click recreate at this point. Yeah, can you click recreate? And it will show you that box which you want. So you want to make fresh rooms in your own lesson. Okay? You don't want to be using someone else's rooms. Even if they look perfect, they might not work as well as you want them to work. Okay?
Yeah.
So would we set the rooms automatically or manually?
Manually.
Okay, and if you teach your own group of learners, not on CELTA, just in real life where you teach online, can you set up the rooms automatically?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then Zoom will just automatically put the people in the rooms if it's not that important who works with whom at this point. So let's pretend that we want 3 rooms. So I'm recreating 3 breakout rooms manually and I click recreate. Can you do the same thing, please? Okay, do you see 3 empty rooms now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. Now you can assign people, you know how to do that. So let's pretend that we already have our students in the rooms the way we want them to be grouped. But before I open the rooms for the first time in my lesson, I need to check the settings because just as we said when we started, Zoom lives a life of its own, okay? So you need to control it because it needs to live the life that we want it to live. Now, can you see the little options button? So if you just look at all the buttons that are available, you have open all rooms. I'm reading it the Arabic way, right to left. Open all rooms, add room, recreate, and then there's a little circle. It's gray. It's called options on Zoom. To me, it looks like a settings button. Can you see that button?
Yeah.
Can you click it?
Mm-hmm.
We see loads of things that we don't need to see here at the moment. So can you untick everything, uncheck all of the boxes that are checked? And I'll tell you the 2 that you need only, and that's it. So you want to have the third one, automatically move all assigned participants into breakout rooms. You want to tick that. What this means is that the moment you click open all rooms, your students will be automatically taken to their breakout rooms. They will not need any invitations from Zoom. They won't lose them. You won't be waiting, things like that. And the last one is the last one actually, the countdown timer after closing the breakout rooms. And can you set it to 10 seconds, please? Okay. Why the countdown timer? Because it's a bit weird, you know, when you're talking and suddenly you get this abrupt end to your conversation. You don't get to finish and you're just back to the main room. 10 seconds is more than enough to finish your utterance and come to a logical end in your discussion. Say thank you and goodbye and be taken back to the main room. Okay? Anything more than that is going to steal time. And 45 minutes is not a lot of time. Okay? All the other things you see that we did not tick now, you don't need them. Okay?
Is it okay to use the because I was using the breakout rooms close automatically, I was changing it and using that to...
You mean the timer?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to use it, but do they need to know how much time they have left? You can decide. Maybe you said,
they
well,
can see that as well.
they can
Yeah,
see
okay.
that, yes.
Yeah.
The timer goes there.
Yeah, it's more for me to know how long they've been in there.
Oh, this we'll talk about in a second, but I think that you should not let Zoom be in control of your lesson. You should be in control of your lesson. You're the boss, you're the teacher, you know very well. I said 3 minutes, but if I see that the conversation is going so well, why can't I give them a bit more time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you the option to leave it open. So I did do that on a couple of occasions because I wasn't actually ready to close the rooms.
But see
so,
what
yeah, I'm just
sort of
using it as
feeling it gives them. Like, well, you said
Yeah.
5 minutes, but you know, or you closed the rooms earlier. Well, why? You didn't give us enough time. And then if you did not close the rooms when the timer was up, why would you even say 5 minutes? You know, so it's a bit, because they think in black and white. They don't really know all of these teaching things that we're talking about here, all of the, you know, methodology and teaching decisions and things like that. So you may well use your phone. You have a stopwatch there, which we will talk about just in a second. You can use the lap button, which will show you how much time you've used. That's more useful and gives you more freedom as a teacher. You can use it. It's not like you can't. Please do not. No. If you love it, if it works for you, go for it. For me, well, it doesn't work for me when I teach my lessons. I find it annoying that, you know, it tells me, okay, shall I close the rooms now? God, you know. So these breakout room settings that we've just discussed, I'll leave the timer up to you. So decide if you want the timer or not. It doesn't really influence much apart from some confusion among the students, and maybe some teachers find it annoying. I do, okay? But otherwise, other things, like you need to move them to the rooms automatically. This is really important. That's one thing. They should not be allowed to return to the main room whenever they feel like it, because I mean, they don't know when it's time for them to return, or maybe they won't be putting in enough effort, you know, into their discussions with their partners if they can always do it. Now, let me check with a few ICQs or CCQs. What are these gonna be? Both, probably. Do you need to check these settings each time you open breakout rooms?
Well, Karina, if we need a different time, we will have to set up a different time.
We said we're not using the timer. So, can you answer my yes/no question?
Only
okay.
setting it up at the beginning of the lesson.
Only once, when you set up your first breakout rooms. Now, if you're teaching second, third, fourth after someone, so you don't have fresh rooms, should you use the previous teacher's rooms or should you recreate them?
Recreate.
Yes, okay. And should you let your students return back to the main room whenever they feel like it?
No.
Okay, because you decide, you're the boss. Okay, good. That's one thing about the breakout rooms. As soon as this becomes automatic, like these settings, these two that you keep, you know, it's always like this, you'll see that teaching on Zoom will become a little bit easier for you and a little bit less stressful because it's always like this. It will become a routine.